Thomas Jefferson indicated that the government that governs best governs least. Unfortunately, most of what our government does is unconstitutional. And once people understand that our government is not following the Constitution, our government is not doing things that are in our best interest, that the government is violating our liberty and, taking away our private property.
Well, people have been very docile to the government increasing the tax burden. I think most people don't even know what the FICA, stub on their payroll means, even though it's a Social Security tax, the heaviest tax that most wage earners pay. Taxes are a measure of subjugation, and the higher taxes rise, the more subjugated people will be.
All of our political problems derive from the fact that people do not understand the difference between rights and privileges. A right is something that you can do without asking. A privilege is something that someone of a higher authority allows you to do.
Well, it's very cold, but I wrote about the EEOC was going after Hooters restaurant chain, which is known as a Playboy Club for rednecks, and they were pressuring them to hire male waiters because some of the lawyers at EEOC did not like it that Hooters was not having women, was only having women jiggle when they brought their over-fried food. Likewise, for the Disabilities Act, there were some Disabilities Act complaints against a couple of strip clubs because they were not wheelchair accessible on the stage where the strippers were doing their bit.
Besides the fact that I just hate Massachusetts, in Massachusetts, I'm not allowed to carry a gun in Massachusetts because you have to be 21 to carry a concealed pistol. You have to be 21 to get one of the federal, handgun licenses, even if you're going to do open carry, which open carry is so frowned upon in Massachusetts. In Massachusetts, it's extremely hard to homeschool your children. And all the people that are pro-homeschooling all want it really regulated.
Mass illiteracy as a result of government schools. I mean, I think the standards have fallen a lot over the last couple of decades. I think people on average could read better 20 or 30 or 40 years ago. I've noticed that in some of the young editors I've dealt with. They don't read so good. But the standards are falling and the government's covering it up. So it's a usual circus shell game.
What we see today, I think, really is the reflection of the culture. And one of the things, one of the challenges we have ahead is to get people to wake up. And here in New Hampshire, they're already, I shouldn't say already, they're still very liberty friendly, but wake up and recognize liberty is under attack. And if we don't do something about it, it's going to get a lot worse until at some point it's unbearable. And where we're at now would have been unbearable to those who fought the Revolutionary War. It's embarrassing that we've gone this far. We shouldn't have to have a free state project in America. That's a ridiculous idea, but we do because we need it.
I think that we need to have something similar to what L. Neil Smith called the Albert Gallatin Rescue Society in his book The Probability Broach and the American Zone, where they went to other dimensions where people were unfree to bring them to this free state dimension. Where they went, and it was called the Gallatinist Rescue Society, named after Albert Gallatin, Revolutionary War era guy. And they went and they said, look, we have this free society. We know you're a libertarian in this society, and you guys are everything's futile here. Let's go. We've got something good going here. That's what I can see happening here. A liberty rescue society.
So many people are using the power of the state against everyone else. The state just needs to have this power, they can't be given this power. They have to be tied down. You have to keep an eye on government, or it just gets so big that it's involved in every aspect of our lives. I mean, technically, I'm not supposed to be cutting her hair.